Hi guys, today I've decided to do something new on my channel, and that will be covering all of the arcs of Jujutsu Kaisen after the Shibuya Incident arc. If you've come across this video and you're still watching Shibuya, I'm gonna offer a major spoiler warning here, so make sure you save this video and come back to it after the anime is done. If you're someone who's a manga reader, or if you're just somebody who doesn't care, please stick around and enjoy this video, man. Let's get it. After the absolute chaos that was the Shibuya Incident, which led to the sealing of Satoru Gojo and the death of Nanami and countless other casualties, unknown figures start discussing the situation, and they reveal that many people as well as politicians have gone missing, with around 10 million curses roaming the streets of Tokyo. 23 wards have been destroyed, with only a handful of areas clear, which they plan to create as evacuation sites for 5 million residents. One of the individuals is taken aback that they plan on evacuating the entire area, wondering about the various consequences. Another one says that they should expand 2 barriers, while someone else worries about making the existence of curses public. One person assures the rest of the team that sorcerers are protecting the city, while another adds that they should reveal the existence of curses in Tokyo. They also worry about the intervention of foreign military, and others debate back and forth about how to manage this entire situation. In a convenience store, a young girl is rummaging through various food and drink items, and while she eats, she spots a creepy shadowy figure telling her to come because it's dangerous. The girl asks it where her mum is, and the curse replies saying that her parents, big sister, little brother and teacher are all there. The girl responds saying that she doesn't have a little brother and that she hates her teacher. The curse then responds by repeating her words. She's confused and she asks it if it wants a drink, which it replies yes. As soon as the girl walks outside the store, a huge curse with razor sharp teeth lunges at her, and its jaws wide open about to devour her. Yuta appears, leaping down from above, stabbing the creature right through the head with his katana. He asks the girl if he scared her, making sure that she isn't hurt. He then approaches the girl, asking her if she is with her parents, but she replies that she doesn't know. Yuta sees her worn out shoes and he realizes that she isn't from around here. He asks her if she has walked for long, and the girl responds by saying she has. Just as Yuta commends her for doing a good job, the monster rises to consume him, but it mysteriously disappears. Yuta asks the girl if she could see that, and he politely asks Rika not to overdo things as he covers her eyes from the large blood splatter from behind them. Later, Yuta meets with the higher ups, who praise him for his efforts. He asks them to get straight to the point, telling them that they know he will obey their orders. One of the higher ups explains that getting rid of cursed spirits proves nothing, and Yuta replies by asking if he should enter a binding vow to assure that he doesn't care if it's Gojo's student. Inazuki's arm was cut off by Yuji during the Shibuya Incident, and because of this, he will execute Yuji personally. 5 notices are given from the Jujutsu headquarters. First, Suguru Geto is confirmed to be alive and has been sentenced to death again. Second, Satoru Gojo is considered an accomplice in the Shibuya Incident and has been permanently exiled. Removing his seal is considered a criminal offense. Third, Principal Yaga is to be executed for inciting Gojo and Geto, causing the Shibuya Incident. Fourth, Yuji is to be executed immediately. And lastly, his appointed executioner is Yuta Okkotsu. At the Zenin estate, Naoya Zenin asks for the confirmation as to whether or not Mai has died, and their mother tells him to focus on the matters of clan leadership instead. Naoya criticizes Maki and comments how she is unsupportive when it comes to serving a man. He then says that her stubborn attitude is worthy of death. Tensions reach a boiling point as Ogi and Junichi Zenin confront him on where he has been since his father is at death's door. Naoya playfully apologizing and saying that it doesn't matter whether he comes or not because the next head of the Zenin clan is him. He sharply insults his brothers, saying that they're all losers, and he turns that contempt towards Junichi, saying that he should have been the one to switch places with Toji. Junichi, furious, throws a punch at Naoya, with him easily dodging it, but Ogi draws his sword to hold him at bay. Suddenly, a mysterious figure named Furudate enters the scene, announcing that Naobito Zenin has passed away. Furudate possesses the will of Naobito and prepares to read it out to the anticipation of Naoya, Junichi and Ogi. Furudate unveils the contents of Naobito's will, and it is revealed that Naoya will become the 27th head of the Zenin clan. However, his role will depend on the approval level of either Junichi or Ogi before he can become the clan head. But just when it seems like Naoya's ascension is certain, a shocking twist emerges. Furidate reveals a hidden clause in a written agreement with Toji Fushiguro stipulating that if Satoru Gojo is incapacitated relating to either death or in the mind, Megumi Fushiguro is to assume the leadership of the clan. Naoya, angered by this revelation, anticipates opposition from Ogi and Junichi, who prefer anyone but him as the clan's head. He asks of Megumi's whereabouts, and it is revealed that he's searching for Yuji. He tells Maki's mother to inform the higher ups of his plan to eliminate Yuji. Naoya hatches a sinister plan, vowing to personally hunt down Yuji Itadori, Sukuna's vessel, while seizing the opportunity to kill Megumi amidst the chaos in Tokyo. In a flashback, Yuki expresses regret over the phone for not acting sooner during the Shibuya incident, and says that she temporarily had to keep an eye on things when the conflict reached the breaking point. She's not on anyone's side, rather her main purpose is to eradicate cursed spirits from the world. She and her comrades will deliver the kids who were present, finally stating that she plans to meet with Tengen. Yuji sits alone on the staircase and Choso approaches him with genuine concern, asking about his injuries. Yuji claims he is fine, saying that it's because of Sukuna and that he can sense that his strength is growing. Choso urges Yuji to return to Jujutsu High, saying that he will be fine while he tries to collect the remains of his other brothers. But Yuji replies by telling him that Sukuna has grim plans for Megumi, and besides, he's grappling with the crippling weight of his own violent actions. He took the lives of Iso and Kechizu, but Choso calmly tells him that it was a misunderstanding, asserting that forgiveness isn't involved when it comes to brothers. Their bond as brothers takes center stage as they embark on a mission to confront cursed spirits. But the stage is set for a high stakes showdown as Naoya and Yuta move in the shadows, determined to track down and eliminate Yuji. The battle lines are drawn and the fate of the Jujutsu world hangs in the balance. Standing alone on a bridge, Yuji claps his hands multiple times, which summons a legion of cursed spirits. He guides them into the shadowy depths of an underpass, where Choso appears, killing most of the entities with a single piercing bloodshot. The last spirit left leaps towards Choso, only to meet a swift and crushing end against the wall, courtesy of Yuji. Choso stands in awe of Yuji's power, finesse, and mastery over cursed energy. He then calls Yuji a demon god, a testament to his extraordinary abilities despite not fully recovering. He even refers to Yuji again as his little brother. Yuji then questions his persistence on calling him that, but Choso says to him that he will continue to do so, adding that Yuji's father probably had stitches on his forehead. Naoya emerges above them, his eyes scanning the surroundings, searching for Megumi. He wonders how Megumi could be this slow. As Yuji and Choso brace themselves, Naoya asks the two if they plan to run. Yuji, puzzled, questions Naoya's motives. In a shocking revelation, Naoya discloses that his execution is slated to resume now that Gojo, his guardian angel, is no longer at his side. Yuji recalls Ino's words about Gojo's assistance to sorcerers, emphasizing Gojo's role in saving countless numbers of them. Naoya, indifferent to Yuji's fate but fixated on Megumi, threatens to shatter Yuji's legs. As Yuji asks him about his motive for Megumi, Naoya coldly replies that he plans for him to die. Instantly, Naoya swoops down, saying that Megumi is looking for him, but before Yuji can even react, Naoya delivers a sudden and devastating strike to Yuji's face. Before Yuji or Choso can counter, he jumps away. The two opposing forces examine each other's abilities before making their next move, but just as Naoya ponders on increasing his speed, an electrifying and ominous presence grips the trio. Yuji initially compares this presence to Gojo's, but its aura is much creepier. With a sense of fear, he gazes upward and they glimpse Yuta, who calmly readies his weapon, and he chillingly comments how Yuji is not alone. Yuta unsheathes his katana, sending a shiver down Yuji's spine, prompting him to demand the stranger's identity. Choso, however, appears to understand what Yuta's intentions are. Yuta jumps from a balcony above, leaving a path of destruction in his wake as he smashes through a wall, leaving Yuji and Choso utterly bewildered. Drawing closer, Yuta presses them for answers, answers about who Yuji's companion is, and Choso speculates that Yuta might be Yuji's executioner. Naoya raises his hands, pledging allegiance to Yuta and confirming his identity as Okkotsu. Yuji recognizes the name from Megumi, realizing him as a special grade sorcerer on the same league as Gojo. Naoya introduces himself as Maki's cousin, revealing his intent to kill Yuji. He assures Yuta that he won't interfere, but he seeks something in return. Choso advises Yuji to flee, as they remain clueless about the mystery of Naoya's speed. He boldly offers to confront Naoya himself. Yuji hesitates, but as he prepares his blood manipulation, Choso reassures him to focus on escaping Yuta. He cautions against battling an opponent reminiscent of Gojo because it would prove to be fatal. Inwardly, Choso takes solace in sparing Yuji the weight of fighting sorcerers and goes to confront Naoya. Naoya strikes a deal with Yuta, requesting him to refrain from informing his superiors if he kills Yuji. He discloses that he serves as bait for someone he plans to meet and regrets mentioning Megumi earlier. Choso secretly arranges a meeting point with Yuji and they acknowledge this arrangement. As Yuta agrees to Naoya's terms and leaves Choso to his fate, everyone springs into action. Yuta races towards Yuji and Choso attempts to hinder him with a piercing bloodshot, but Naoya intervenes. Unfazed by his attack, Naoya outlines the one weakness in Choso's arsenal, his need to charge up his attacks. He ominously signals that it's time for Choso to meet his end, leaving Choso defiant, vowing to protect his little brother. Yuji flees from Yuta, with both astonished by each other's speed. Outside the underpass, Yuji sprints towards a toppled car and jumps over it. Yuta closes in with his katana in hand. Yuji then seizes the car, suddenly reversing its trajectory, narrowly dodging Yuta's impending attack. Yuta is surprised, likening Yuji to Maki. Yuji then delivers a right hook that sends the car soaring into Yuta. Seizing the opportunity to escape indoors, Yuji runs towards safety, only to be blindsided as the car hurtles back to him. Crashing into the entrance of the building he seeks to hide in. Yuta notices how surprised Yuji is and he admits that he's not the power type. And Yuji recognizes Yuta's immense cursed energy and realizes their power contrast. Yuta explains that he has more cursed energy than Gojo, but Gojo's 6 eyes allow him to minimize energy loss when using a cursed technique. Yuta declares that he's done talking and charges towards Yuji. In the blink of an eye, Yuji is overwhelmed, and Todo's words on an elite sorcerer's cursed energy control echoes in his mind. Yuta's katana then grazes Yuji's side, and as Yuji regains his composure, he grasps an undeniable truth. Yuta's body and weapon are constantly pulsating with cursed energy. It's not the predictability of Yuta's movements, but the ruthless precision of each strike, minimizing the damage that he takes on himself. Yuji then reminds himself of Nanami's final words and resolves not to die just yet. Yuta and Yuji engage in a deadly clash of sorcerers. Yuta, a relentless force with his katana, presses the attack, each strike a testament to his precision. Yuji dodges most of the strikes, but a razor-sharp cut on his cheek warns of the impending danger. Racing against time, he recalls past battles, realizing the urgent need to address Yuta's menacing katana. Yuji then rushes towards a waiting SUV. Through an open window, he dives into the vehicle. Within the vehicle, the glint of a survival knife sparks hopes in his eyes. He grabs the weapon, leaping out of the opposite window. Their combat intensifies as Yuta, undeterred, leaps over the SUV's hood. However, to his surprise, the gleaming blade of a survival knife intercepts his attack, his eyes widening as he tries to understand where Yuji acquired this unexpected item. He deduces that it must have been within the confines of the SUV. He then reassures himself that as long as it isn't a cursed tool, there's no reason to worry. Yuji, propelled by determination, imbues the knife with cursed energy, bridging the gap between them. Yet a whisper of caution echoes Gojo's words in his mind, a reminder of the delicate balance between cursed tools and energy control. The struggle intensifies, each move a demonstration between survival and peril. Yuta tells Yuji that he's focusing too much on his katana, and in a daring twist, Yuta's overwhelming kick shatters Yuji's rhythm, obliterating the survival knife and slicing him in the stomach. The battle resets and Yuji seizes the moment, pinning Yuta's katana and shattering its blade with a thunderous stomp. Yuta, taken aback, acknowledges that he's Gojo's student, stating that this fight was never going to be an easy task. Yuji, now unarmed, moves for the counter-attack, but all of a sudden a massive creature materializes behind him, gripping his head with both hands. Yuji is paralyzed with fear, while Yuta casually tells Rika that they were merely playing. Yuji cannot comprehend with the unfamiliar name that he's heard, pondering if it's a Shikigami. He realizes that he can't move because the entity is overwhelmingly strong. Yuta tells Rika to restrain Yuji, and then he calmly impales him in the chest with the broken katana. Blood trickles from Yuji's mouth, leaving Sukuna momentarily stunned before a grin appears on his face. Meanwhile, back at the underpass, the fight between Naoya and Choso unfolds. Naoya, a master of projection sorcery, dominates the battle with unparalleled speed and power. Choso, struggling to decipher the enigma of Naoya's curse technique, endures a rapid onslaught. Impressed by Choso's resilience, Naoya asks about his identity. Choso proudly tells him that he's the eldest of 10 siblings, as he unleashes the formidable technique, Flowing Red Scale Stack. After declaring his status as the eldest sibling, Naoya, annoyed, tells him that he was asking about the specifics on his curse technique and toughness. In a heartbeat, he vanishes from Choso's sight, but Choso senses a blur beside him and turns around to confront the lightning fast Naoya. Naoya realizes that Choso has focused his flowing red scale within the muscles of his eyes, sharpening his vision to an incredible degree. Despite Choso's attempt to counter, Naoya effortlessly bypasses his defenses, remarking that he's too predictable. Blood then starts spurting out from Choso's side, and Naoya discloses that he cunningly used a knife to manipulate Choso's curse technique. Naoya challenges Choso's endurance, questioning how long he can persist in such a condition. After commending Naoya's tactics, Naoya replies that it isn't cool for sorcerers to use weapons out in public, and those who wield weapons are often dependent on them. That disdain for weaponry is evident in his words as he ridicules his older brothers and their dependence on weaponry, wondering how they could complain about Toji. Choso delves into the reasons as to why Naoya hates his brothers, and he states that there's no point of having older brothers who are weaker than their younger siblings. Those older siblings should just die since they're useless. He disputes with Naoya to contemplate whether his strength stems from having weaker older brothers. Choso reveals his strength arises from the absence of older guidance, forcing him to confront his mistakes and lead the way for his younger siblings. That's why he's strong. In a dramatic moment, Choso's blood pools around him, heading away from him. Naoya, observing the scene, takes a cautious step back, contemplating the seemingly insurmountable difficulty of surviving such significant blood loss. Death paintings like Choso possess a unique resilience. Their blood, a blend of cursed spirits and human, enables them to defy death by converting cursed energy into vital blood. In a turn of events, Choso manipulates a wall of blood, momentarily obscuring Naoya's vision. A deliberate slow-motion slicing exorcism attack emerges, but Naoya evades, speculating that Choso might succumb to the blood loss. However, the unexpected occurs as Choso appears, firing a piercing bloodshot, pushing Naoya to the limits of evasion. Constant wall of blood continues its advance, pressuring Naoya, who barely manages to block a kick. A sense of urgency sets in as Naoya realizes the blood has stained his clothing, causing an unsettling heaviness in his legs. Choso is poised for another piercing bloodshot. Their fight reaches a critical moment, with Choso declaring the impending checkmate. Yet, Naoya remains confident in his curse technique, saying that he can still move regardless of the effect of the blood. He tauntingly urges Choso to unleash his firepower, but as he charges forward at him, his curiosity creeps in. Why isn't Choso releasing his technique? Choso prepares for his final devastating move, one that he has created and honed for 150 years, Supernova. Choso releases his technique, causing his blood orb to strike Naoya's body. He then offers a sincere apology, expressing his confusion over Naoya's apparent lack of love for his brothers. Yuta then emerges behind him, dragging Yuji's unconscious body. Choso, attempting to react, is met with a severe barrage of punches from Yuta, knocking him out cold. Naoya, looking up, finds Yuta standing over him, and Yuta notices that he seems to be hurt. After Yuta confronts the wounded Naoya, the latter speculates about Choso's blood manipulation causing poisoning. Yuta offers to heal Naoya in exchange for reporting Yuji's death. In a flashback, a man named Jin holds a baby and confronts his father, saying that if he wants to talk about her, he will just leave. The man is revealed to be Yuji's grandfather, who tells Jin that while he can do whatever he wants with his life, he will die if he doesn't give up on her. Jin dismisses Wasuke's words, cautioning him against speaking negatively in front of Yuji, since babies supposedly remember more than meets the eye. As the conversation unfolds, Wasuke reveals Jin's desire for a child with a woman named Kaori. Before Wasuke can go into more detail, a mysterious woman with stitches on her forehead interrupts him, referring to him as her father-in-law and asking what he's talking about. Yuji wakes up beside the fire, astonished at his survival. Yuta, seemingly emotionless, then breaks character with a smile of relief. He discloses that Gojo in September trusted him with Yuji's protection. In a flashback, Gojo tells Yuta to take care of the first and second years, with the exception of Hakari, who should be fine. Yuta, with a hint of humor, contemplates whether this duty involves the realm of romance, but Gojo steers the conversation into a serious tone, revealing his utmost concern for the first year student Yuji Itadori. He reveals Yuji's imminent secret execution, which mirrors Yuta's own past. Gojo asks where Miguel is, but Yuta replies that he doesn't want to see him. Yuta then reveals the intricacies of his elaborate plan. To secure the role of Yuji's executioner, Yuta had to bind himself to end Yuji's life. Yuji questions how he managed to survive, and Yuta unveils the secret of his reverse curse technique, a power so concealed that only a few are aware that he can do it. He explains that relying on his understanding of Yuji as a person, he took the gamble, reviving him the very instant his heart stopped. Yuta reveals the imminent exposure of the truth behind Yuji's fake death to the higher-ups, but as for now, they will acknowledge that Yuji's death sentence has been fulfilled. Yuji questions Yuta as to why he's doing all of this. Yuta says that Yuji holds importance to those significant in his life. Yuta draws parallels between their struggles with an uncontrollable power, saying that Yuji, unlike himself, shouldn't bear blame for circumstances beyond his control. Yuji ignores blame as the core issue, but before he can elaborate, Megumi unexpectedly emerges from the shadows, suggesting they return to Jujutsu High. Megumi notes that with the barrier loosening, Yuji can safely return as long as no one spots him. Yuji interrupts him, urging him not to act as if everything is normal. Yuta recalls Yuji's earlier statement about him not being able to die yet. He reflects on Yuji's internal struggle, that it's this very reason why he held back during their fight, and uncertainty about whether he truly deserves to live. In an escalation of emotion, Yuji's voice rises with anguish as he confesses to the weight of the lives lost at his hands. Megumi vehemently shifts the blame, insisting it's not Yuji's alone to bear. Megumi tells Yuji not to be selfish and give up on himself. He reminds him that they are not heroes fighting for justice, but Jujutsu sorcerers, beings beyond conventional judgment. Megumi further asserts that their existence is validated not through judgment, but by continuously proving their worth to others. With a heavy heart, he underscores the imperative to save others, urging Yuji to look beyond his personal turmoil in the face of the countless lives they must protect. Megumi refreshes Yuji's memory of his original motivation. However, Yuji, with his eyes closed, confesses a painful truth, that as long as Megumi remains by his side, suffering will inevitably happen. Megumi gets vulnerable with Yuji and implores him to start by saving him. His plea echoes with desperation as he reveals the dire situation. Noritoshi Kamo has initiated a culling game for those with cursed energy, and Sumiki is being ensnared within it. He then begs Itadori for his strength to save his sister from the upcoming supernatural warfare, that is, the culling game. Hi guys, thank you to everybody who tuned into this video. I've been thinking of making manga recaps of certain arcs of JJK, so if that's the type of content you want to see from this channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you to everybody who took out the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and stay blessed.